Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Passaic Valley High School, where in today's Passaic County final, the visiting Wayne Hills Patriots will take on the Passaic County Hornets. I'm David Suntup alongside Spencer Fertig. So, Spencer, if you had to give your keys to the game, what would they be?
I think it's basically a twofold attack that Wayne Hills really needs to focus on. First, obviously, being on offense. They've had a really pretty stellar offense this season, spearheaded by captains Lauren Mooney, Shaylin Decker, and Kristen Anderson, and I think they need to continue their focus there and get goals in the nets, and similarly, they need to remain as focused on defense as they had, and which has led them to their 9-6 record.
My keys to the game, here they are. Goaltending. It starts with Michelle Ozier. Her sister last year, Christina Ozier, came huge for the Patriots, and even though the Patriots lost that game in a shootout, Michelle Ozier was a brick wall in net. Actually, excuse me, Christina Ozier was a brick wall in net, and today her sister Michelle needs to come up big for the Patriots in goal. Also, it starts with defense. Wayne Hills really needs to do a great job on defense. They really need to limit the opportunities for the Passaic Valley Hornets, and then they have to get on offense. Lauren Bracco, she's the big goal scorer on this team, along with Kim Giametta, Alyssa Fitzpatrick, Jen Kozlowski. They have to get out and they have to score goals so the Patriots don't get in a similar situation to last year where they lost in a devastating shootout.
And I think that's important to remember is they're facing a Passaic Valley team who won this tournament last year, who's clearly prepared, clearly has been here before, and clearly wants to do this again. So they're going to need to bring their all, especially for the seniors who really want to go out on top and end their 4-year field hockey careers on a good note.
Oh, last year's loss was just totally devastating. The players were really just crushed after that loss. They thought they had the game won. It was such a hard-fought matchup. And Wayne Hills, they were so close to winning this game. They're up 1-0 after the first half. In the second half, there was a questionable call, and Passaic Valley had a penalty stroke, and they converted on the penalty stroke to tie the game. So they went into double overtime, and then they were still tied at 1. And then in the shootout, Passaic Valley won that shootout 2-1. It was just very heartbreaking for the Wayne Hills Patriots, and today they have another chance at revenge.
And this year, David, I really feel the winds have changed, both literally and figuratively. You know, it's a brisk autumn day here right now. The winds are really howling quite a bit, but I can't think of a better way to spend a day than watching this game. And I know just as it's very windy outside, these Wayne Hills Patriots really want to leave here with a different outcome than they did last year's game.
Oh, definitely. Speaking of the weather, as you just brought up, it's definitely going to be a different atmosphere today. Last year at the game was played at Wayne Hills High School early in the morning, and it was just freezing. It was 30 degrees. Parker Weston was wearing a ski cap. Everyone was just freezing. I couldn't believe how cold it was. But today, it's a nice, warm autumn afternoon. Leaves are falling. Very colorful here at Passaic Valley High School. So I think the weather will definitely play a big factor in the game. But it is windy, though.
I agree.
I mean, right before the game, you were out here and you were complaining about the wind.
I still am. I am really bundled up in a sweatshirt and long shirt. For those of you who can't really see me on camera, I've got my hood on, top of my baseball cap, so I'm pretty prepared to just bundle in here, hunker down, and enjoy this next hour of nonstop action.
Whew. All I can say is thank God for binders, because my notes are flying all over the place, but they're stuck inside the binder due to the holes. And I talked to Coach Badami before the game, and she said that she wants this game to be a little bit less dramatic than last week's 4-3 win over West Milford. Last week, Wayne Hills was actually down 2-1 going into the second half, and they got 3 second-half goals to win that game.
I think Coach Badami is doing the right thing by now by talking to her team and really instilling an excited atmosphere within them. She's not placing a ton of pressure on them so much as encouraging them to just go out there, do what they've done thus far this season, and go out on top. And it's because of that she's really won her players over. A lot of them love her and respect her and want to win this just as much for her as they do for themselves.
Yeah, Wayne Hills won that game against West Milford 4-3. As Shaylin Decker had the game-winning penalty stroke with 4 minutes left in the second half. Definitely a dramatic win. Passaic Valley beat Popton Lakes, as we talked about before, in one of those shootouts. They won that shootout 2-1. That was decided by penalty strokes, and the game-winning goal was scored by Kelly Mattia of Passaic Valley. So Wayne Hills is the #1 seed in this tournament, and Passaic Valley is the #3 seed. But the game is at Passaic Valley because Passaic Valley is last year's champion. Wayne Hills to start off with the ball, opening face-off. Or opening stroke, excuse me. There's no face-off in field hockey. Anderson controls the ball. Anderson at midfield, tries to hit it up. As here's our first of many whistles today. you're not familiar with the game of field hockey, you can only hit the ball with one side of your stick. You can't kick the ball. You can't high stick. So it's a very unique game, but it could be a very tough game to understand, to say the least.
Absolutely. For the amateur announcer, it can be a very hard game to call and give the audience an idea of what's going on, which is fortunate that we're here to tell them.
As the ball goes over the end line by the Wayne Hills goal. So that's going to be a free hit for the Wayne Hills Patriots. Number 31, Amy Takahashi takes the free hit. Mooney going for the ball against Passaic Valley player. Anderson hits it to her right. Kristen Anderson was a varsity player as a sophomore, as Michelle Ozier makes her first save of the game, and she denies Passaic Valley again. Scrumble in front of the net as the Wayne Hills defense hits it away. Very dangerous situation there for the Wayne Hills Patriots.
Absolutely, and I think they displayed what has made them a great team thus far, is their ability to really come through in pressure situations. And, you know, that looked like a very good opportunity for Passaic Valley to score, but the defense in a combined effort stopped that from happening.
I'd like to give you tonight's trivia question, which is brought to you by Wayne Hills High School. Study hard and get good grades. The question is, when was the last time the Wayne Hills Patriots were the Passaic County champions? Answer coming up momentarily. As Mooney hits the ball up the right sideline, taken by Bracco. And a whistle blows, and Wayne Hills will retain possession.
One other interesting thing about field hockey, and this may seem like a basic comment, is the fact that even with a variety of whistles blown, the clock never stops. It runs down 30-minute periods twice, and then we finally get to the end of the game. So the clock keeps rolling amidst all these whistles. It's a quick
game. When the ball goes out of bounds, it doesn't matter how far it goes out of bounds. You always have to be on your feet. You always have to be hustling. And these players are ready for this game. This is the kind of game that you circle on your calendar, and you hope that you could participate in a game like this. Anderson up the right side of the field. Pass intended for Mooney, just out of her reach. Anderson to the right side of the goal. So they call a foul on the Wayne Hills Patriots as Passaic Valley will take over possession.
I feel like I'm at a football game right now. There's a great level of enthusiasm going on. Wayne Hills has a fairly nice presence here at the Passaic Valley's opposing home field. And let's see what we can do.
There's a dilemma for Passaic Valley sports fans, as the Passaic Valley Hornets football team, which beat Wayne Valley a few weeks ago, is playing a football game to the right of where we're sitting. So field hockey or football, it's a tough choice today.
I know what I would pick. This is where I want to be.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially, well, it's a no-brainer for us because Wayne Hills is in this.
Right, that is a very good point, David.
But it doesn't get any better in this rematch of the 2005 Passaic County Finals, Wayne Hills, Passaic Valley Hornets. If you're just joining us, I'm David Suntup alongside Spencer Fertig. Takahashi with the free hit as it hits off the shoe of Shaylin Decker, I believe. Spencer, is that Shay Decker?
That was Shay Decker, and that ball then just went sailing out of bounds. But like you said moments earlier, David, no matter how far a ball goes out of bounds, the clock will still keep on rolling, and that's what it's doing at this very moment.
Yeah, because some of the numbers on my roster are a little inaccurate. I just didn't want to make a mistake.
Wayne Hills would like to get something going here right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Try to get an early goal and then get back and play defense, because it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's just the kind of games that these two teams play. They like to play low-scoring games. They like to play defense. That's what the game was last year. Anderson up the right sideline as it hits off the stick of number 25. I'm not sure who number 25 is because my roster is incorrect.
Wayne Hills is really going to have to make statements early and often if they want to avoid the dramatic end that Coach Badami is hoping that they will avoid. But quite frankly, right now, both teams are playing good, and neither team is really dominating the other. It seems more like a back and forth at this moment.
Well, Passaic Valley had the best scoring chance of the day, as Michelle Ozier made two great saves in that sequence, and then the ball was right in front of the net, but the Wayne Hills defense did a great job clearing it out. So it's basically been back and forth, both teams just trying to have an identity here in the first half, trying to establish the ball in the other's offensive zone. There's another whistle And right now, I'm going to give you the answer to today's trivia question, which is brought to you by Wayne Hills High School. Study hard and get good grades. DiBianco passed it in front of the net as Seibel's shot is denied by a Passaic Valley defender. And the question was, when was the last time that the Wayne Hills Field Hockey Patriots won the county championship? If you said 2004, you are correct. I'm not sure who they beat. I couldn't find it on the internet for some reason, but that's the last time they were the county champs. So it's a rematch of last year's Passaic County final, and it's also a matchup of the last two Passaic County champions.
That ball was just hit by Ariane Bakelman, who is also known as in many Wayne Hills circles as a great runner. She's the star of the girls' track team, and coaches Riker and Holden would love for her to run cross country and fall, but she can't deny her passion for field hockey, and that's why she's playing in this game right now.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine how great the cross-country team would be if they had Ariane Bakelman. But the girls' team this year, the freshmen, were just outstanding. They just had an outstanding season.
I think they're actually going to be featured in the local paper next week. They're going down for their shot Tuesday. They've actually been the most successful girls cross-country team since the team was started back in the 70s, so kudos to them.
Yeah, kudos to Raymond Riker and Bob Hall. They just did a fantastic job coaching up those girls. But back to Ariane Bakelman. She was first county all track. She was first team all county this year for track. Excuse my wrong wording there. It happens to the best of us, especially when you have PSATs this morning.
I had the pleasure of running with Ariane Bakelman, or at least in the same meets and on the same team as she did, and I'm telling you, she's unlike anything I've ever seen before. She's fast.
5-minute miles, right?
Oh, incredible. A little above 5 minutes, but still, for a girl her age, for a freshman girl, it's unlike anything I've ever seen, and she has a good spirit and a good work ethic, and all the best of luck to her in this game.
Yeah, especially being first team all county as a freshman. That's just really impressive. Her and Grant Hill were the only Wayne Hills tracks athletes to be first team all county, so that's a really prestigious honor.
And Grant Hill, a veteran member of our TV program, is now thriving in Michigan, so we do have some success stories to tell after we leave the camera.
Yeah, Grant Hill was the pretend sideline reporter for us for 4 years, but this year we just established a permanent sideline position. As Passaic Valley threatens as Michelle Ozier kicks it away. A great play on defense by the Wayne Hills Patriots. Amanda DeMoro just saves a goal as Wayne Hills catches a huge break, and Passaic Valley is just shocked. They thought they had a 1-0 lead.
8 minutes into this game, and Amanda DeMoro has provided the best play thus far. That was simply incredible. I normally don't say that about, many field hockey plays, but that play was all guts and glory, and that was really something. She saved what I thought was a definite goal.
Michelle Ozier came out of the net to play the ball, and then the ball was passed right in front of the net. And Amanda DeMoro just goes right in the crease and saves a goal for the Wayne Hills Patriots. That's just an incredible play, and that's got to give this team a lot of momentum.
They're going to try to capitalize on that momentum right now in Passaic Valley territory.
And Spencer, I think for the first time ever for a field hockey game, the clock is working. There's 21 minutes and 39 seconds here in the first half.
That's pretty incredible, and that makes our job a little easier, too. We don't need to keep guessing when the halves are about to end. We know right now.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot
minutes,
easier.
Folks.
As the ball goes over the stick of Shea Decker, controlled by Amy Takahashi. Passaic Valley controls the ball. As the ball is hit out of bounds, and it's going to be Wayne Hill's ball. Ariane Bakelman take the free hit. A lot of freshman field hockey players are here supporting their varsity teammates. That's just great dedication by the younger members of the Wayne Hills field hockey team.
Absolutely. And one thing that I think might get lost in their play is the fact that one of the reasons they're here is because of their great leadership. Seniors Lauren Mooney, Krista Anderson, Shaylin Decker, Amanda DeMoro, Deanna Saporito, all are really great girls and have really provided the girls with a lot of support, a lot of leadership, and really a lot of motivation. A lot of the girls want to see these girls go out on top, and I think that's one of the reasons that Wayne Hills is where they are today. They're really a great bunch of kids, these field hockey girls.
And this is just a great program that Coach Jen Badami runs. They don't rebuild, they reload. They have great talent coming in and out of this program every single year. It's not like this is a one-year thing. They've been on top for about 4 or 5 years now, I'd say.
And you're right, a lot of that does attest to Coach Badami's style in terms of her perfect mix, I should say, of being a teacher and a mentor. She's hard when she needs to be, but she also provides the girls with a lot of support and encouragement. And I think that's basically what you can ask for in a coach.
Spencer, I know Kristen Anderson was a member of the 2004 team that won the Passaic County Championship. Do you know any other people who are on that team by any chance?
I do not think that anyone else there
I think
on
she
the
was the only
field
one.
right now. Do you mean on the field playing today? Because she's the only one on the field playing today who was a member of that team.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if any of the other seniors played in that game. I don't think so.
No, they haven't.
Unfortunately, we did not broadcast that game, but we've come a long way since then.
We have.
If this was 2 years ago, we definitely would have been at that game, just like we are now.
Right.
I mean, we used to only do games on the Wayne Hills property, but now we did a game at Rampo Stadium. We did football on the road. As leaves are blowing in my face, I have to close my eyes for a second.
And at the rate which we're going, I can't wait to see what you guys are able to do next year. We've really made a lot of progress, and it's just going to continue, I think.
Well, you got to tip your hat to the Wayne Hills TV production chief, Jim Hoekstra. He's just done a fantastic job leading this club. His work really goes unnoticed. Anyway, back to the action. Anderson strokes it high and it hits off the stick of Lauren Mooney. As Passaic Valley take over possession now. Any questions, comments, or suggestions, please email the Wayne Hills TV Club at WayneHillsTV@Yahoo. Oh my God, I'm having an off day today. Any questions, comments, or suggestions, please email the Wayne Hills TV Club at WayneHillsTV@AOL.com. Once again, that is WayneHillsTV@AOL.com.
I don't think it's an off day, Dave. I think you've just been so captivated by the action going on in the field that it just slips your mind.
It happens to the best of us. And also, especially after Thursday's terrible event, I've had a little bit of a depression, to say the least.
I don't even want to talk about it. I mean, I wish I could speak of the Mets loss, and yet it's too close to the incident, I think. Still hasn't really sunk in for me.
Yeah, same with me. Back to the action. As the whistle blows, it's going to be a foul on the Passaic Valley Hornets, or some type of violation. As Takahashi will take another free hit. She replaces the free hit legend from last year. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on her name. I know our first, Tori Pinto was the free hit, the designated free hit player for the Wayne Hills Patriots. So now Takahashi has taken over that role.
We're still scoreless now, 13 minutes into the first period, and that's indicative of the defensive battle this has been thus far. Both teams just really fighting hard to make sure the other team doesn't get that go-ahead goal.
Well, Passaic Valley had some primetime scoring opportunities, but they couldn't convert, and that could come back to haunt them later in this game, especially if it's a 1-0 game. Decker moves to her left, tries to pass it back to the center. DiBianco. As Mooney tries to shoot it, it's blocked by a Passaic Valley player. Good play by Kristen Anderson to intercept the pass. As the clearing tip is just out of the way of Elisa DiBianco, as she slips, there's a muddy area right in front of the goal. I'm surprised that they didn't try to patch that up, put some more seeds down, because this field could be slippery, especially in front of the net.
I am too, but I think yesterday, just a torrential downpour and with the winds, I don't necessarily know that they had enough time to really do anything about it. It hasn't rained here a lot this fall, but yesterday, the skies opened up and there was a downpour like any other I have seen in quite some time. It rained hard, David.
Oh, also, there was a terrible accident on Burden Avenue, and I'd like to send my best wishes on a speedy recovery to Kyle Lucas and his family. That was just terrible. I feel terrible for Kyle Lucas. He's been a very good friend of mine since 6th grade. We always talk about the G-men. He's in my pre-cal class, and I want to wish him and his family a speedy recovery, and hopefully he's back in Wayne Hills soon.
Absolutely. We second that, and I think the rest of the TV production staff, crew, club does as well.
Decker passes to Giametta. DiBianco tries to center, is picked off by Passaic Valley player.
And there's Amanda DeMoro again.
As Passaic Valley down the field, as the pass was intended for
Again.
As Passaic Valley down the field, as the pass was intended for number 27. Gotta find the number here. Number 27, Allison Abini. As number 10, Ashley Conti whiffs on the pass. Mattia tries to pass it into the center. And they may call a high stick on that. I'm not totally sure, but Wayne Hills will take over. As Takahashi takes the free hit, goes over the stick of a Passaic Valley player as the ball crosses into the Passaic Valley territory. As DiBianco takes the ball away from Mattia, as Mattia falls down, no foul called on the play. As Wayne Hills have a free hit, will be taken by Kristen Anderson. Actually, no, it's going to be taken by Shea Decker. Decker, stroke free hit, as it hits off the shoe, I believe, of Tammy Seibel, and that's going to be Passaic Valley ball.
No team has really been able to get it going this game. It's really just been like a back and forth outside of Passaic Valley's 2 scoring opportunities. So hopefully Wayne Hills is going to be able to up the energy, or not necessarily the energy, but just the offensive production in this game. They've really got to make a statement.
Yeah, well, of late, Wayne Hills has dominated possession a little bit more than Passaic Valley, but Passaic Valley had the 2 best scoring opportunities in this game so far. Passaic Valley along the sideline. Pass up to number 27, Allison Abini. Abini going against Takahashi. Takahashi cuts it back. Takahashi passes it to Mooney. Taken away by a Passaic Valley player, number 4, Kelly Mattia.
We've been talking all game about the things that Coach Badami does want. I can tell you something she doesn't want, Dave. She doesn't want her team going into the locker room at halftime with a 0-0 tie. She wants them to make a statement and go into the second half ahead and with some momentum to carry over, because she doesn't want this to turn out like the last few games have for Wayne Hills, where it comes down to
actually,
the end.
in last year's game, Wayne Hills was up 1-0 going to the second half. It was really a much physical game last year. There are more fouls called. In regulation, there are 3 penalty strokes for the 2 teams combined. So teams definitely had their chances to score. And Passaic Valley actually converted on one of those penalty strokes in regulation to tie the game late in the second half. So that's why the game went into overtime. But both these teams definitely want to go into the board on top. But the way it's been now, it just may not happen. You have to grind it out on defense. Good play on defense there by Amy Takahashi as Passaic Valley have a free hit. A large faithful here from Wayne Hills High School. Looking at some people in the crowd, Kevin Dunn, Akil, I don't know his last name, but Akil's just a legend in the hallways of Wayne Hills High School. Andrew Perea, Tom Gallo, Vinny Romagnola.
And 12th grade English teacher, Mrs. Venti. So we do have some staff support as well. As Kim Giametta just ran towards our camera, I could see an intensity in her eyes that I've not seen in anyone.
She wants to make a difference in this game.
And I really think hopefully this will be a microcosm of the macrocosm, as my English teacher taught me in class. Hopefully her small show of intensity will, translate to the team's larger production as a whole.
And the one game that we did this year was just a 1-0 victory for Wayne Hills over Riverdale. Kim Giametta scored the goal late in the second half off a great pass from Jen Kozlowski. It was a top shelf goal by Kim Giametta, and it won Wayne Hills the game 1-0 against Riverdale. As Ozier makes a kick save and kicks it out to Bakelman. Bakelman cuts it to her left, and now the ball goes out of bounds. It's going to be a free hit for Passaic Valley. And for the first time ever that we've done a game, the other team has a broadcasting crew. The Passaic Valley broadcasting crew is here doing the game. They did not do the game last year because they only do away games according to the Passaic Valley crew. But I'd like to thank them for giving me a Passaic Valley roster. That was very gracious on their part. I offered them a Wayne Hills roster, but they didn't do it. As Michelle Ozier makes another kick save, she's playing a fantastic game in goal so far.
And Dave, as much as Wayne Hills, I feel like I'm being redundant here, but there's not too much to comment on the game thus far. But as much as Wayne Hills has fairly dominated the time of possession, the 3 or 4 best opportunities to score have all come from Passaic Valley's offense. Wayne Hills is going to need to change that.
Oh yeah, they have to get down there. They have to get someone in front of the net, and they have to get some passes in the middle and hope for some deflections or something. As Passaic Valley had another good chance to score, but the ball goes over the end line. It's going to be a free hit for Wayne Hills. As Anderson tries to hit up the right side, hits off the foot of a Passaic Valley player.
Could this be it, Dave? They're driving into Passaic Valley territory.
Well, it could be. They have to get some shots on goal, get some penetration. Excuse me. 9 minutes and 36 seconds here left in the first half. If you're just joining us, we're at Passaic Valley High School, the site of the 2006 Field Hockey Passaic County Championship. I'm David Suntup alongside Spencer Fertig. We have a short crew today. One, because it's a road game, and two, many people in our crew had obligations. Excuse me. I'm just out of it today. Strong free hit there by the Hornets. Goes up the left sideline as it goes out of bounds by the Wayne Hills bench. As Christian Anderson hits it up the right side of the field. Stopped by Passaic Valley player. As Christian Anderson's going to take the free hit for Wayne Hills. As the ball just goes past Kim Giametta, just out of her reach. A strong free hit there by Christian Anderson. And as we've said before, Spencer, Wayne Hills has to get the ball in front of the net and hope for some deflections and just hope for some shots on goal.
And Wayne Hills is converting on 75% of the field. The one portion that they're really not doing a great job on is the most important portion of the field for them, that being Passaic Valley's goal.
DiBianco tries to pass it to Seibel, but it's deflected by a Passaic Valley player. Free hit to be taken by Decker. As Decker fires a shot, and it's stopped by a Passaic Valley player. So that's probably the best score opportunity Wayne Hills has had in this game so far.
Absolutely, and it just passed them by.
They had a chance. Passaic Valley played good defense, helping the goaltender out. They made a good wall around the goalie, and they stopped the best Wayne Hills scoring chance of the game.
There's about 7.5 minutes left in this half, and honestly, I don't see how we can't be going into the half tied at 0-0.
I'd be pretty surprised if either team got a goal. Just the way the tempo of this game has been going, it's been so back and forth. Possession in one end, possession in the other end. It's been a very back and forth game so far.
And no team has established clear momentum, and how could they really so far? No team has a goal. They each have a few good saves.
As I believe they're going to call a foul on Lauren Mooney. I'm not sure. Both players tried to hit the ball at the same time, and the Passaic Valley player, I believe, got hit in the leg. Fear taken by the Hornets. Kotze up the left side of the field, going against Anderson. And it's going to stay with Passaic Valley.
Keep going. All right, good.
Another whistle, so it's going to be a free hit closer to the goal for Passaic Valley. It's going to be taken by... Can't see the number from here totally.
You can see the fatigue start to set in for some of these players who have been on the field for 24, 25 minutes, but they really need to keep up the intensity. That's an important thing in these games. They're very tiring, but obviously you can't let your guard down. There's only 60 minutes of play.
Oh, yeah, it's a back... And this is the type of game that's been a very back-and-forth game so far, so there's been a lot of running up and down the field. And I haven't seen Coach Bademi make any subs yet. Do you think she'll make any substitutions, maybe just to keep some players fresh, so they can be fresher for the second half?
I would be inclined to think so. Possibly coming out of this timeout, she'll sub some people. And you can just see that the speed with which they're running up and down the field, many of the players who have been in there for now 24 minutes, is starting to slow. And to keep intensity up in the last 6 minutes of the half, she might have to make some substitutions so that her players are rested for the next 30 minutes of play they're going to have to endure.
But also, it's a tough situation because in a game like this, one mistake could lose you the game. And Coach Bademi wants her starters out there because if Wayne Hills or Passaic Valley is going to lose in this game, and one of them will lose this game, they want to lose with their best players on the field. So both coaches probably won't make too many substitutions just because the risk of taking one of their starters out Unless one of the reserves somehow makes a mistake, and that cost them the game.
That's very true, David, and that really is what it feels to me like this game is turning into right now. Both coaches just not wanting to make that one mistake, because we've seen how low-scoring a game it is, and the score could possibly be 1-0, and the team that gives up that one goal, like you said, it could come back to haunt them, and neither team wants that to happen to them. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out of the Wayne Hills huddle to play.
As we are just coming back here from the first time out of the game. I believe it's going to be a free hit for the Passaic Valley Hornets. 6 minutes and 9 seconds here left in the first half at Passaic Valley High School.
The wind has died down a little bit, which is a very pleasant development.
Especially for the
going on here
announcers
right
who have to sit here. Actually, it was a free hit for Wayne Hills, excuse me. As a free hit by Takahashi goes out of bounds by the Passaic Valley bench, and it hits off a fence. Decker tries to clear, taken by Passaic Valley player. Taken by number 10, Ashley Conti. Conti passes it ahead as Michelle Ozier makes a great kick save and clears the ball out of the Wayne Hills zone.
And as far as I can see, David, no substitutions were made coming out of that huddle, so maybe that timeout was just a way for these tired players to rest themselves a little bit.
As it's going to be a free hit for Passaic Valley. As number 22, Ashley Rada, take the free hit. Not sure if the call was there, but it's going to be a free hit for Wayne Hills. Spencer, any idea what the call was?
I am not quite sure, Dave. I apologize. It's probably my inexperienced eye watching, but no matter what the call was, it's now Ariane Bakelman's job to free kick it into Hills territory.
As the ball hits off the stick of a Passaic Valley player, Elisa DiBiaco just got hit in the shoulder, but she's okay. That's definitely got to hurt, because that was a hard hit there by Ariane Bakelman. Good sportsmanship by the Passaic Valley player, number 11, Ashley Coro, to see if DiBiaco is okay.
These field hockey players are a good bunch of kids, Dave Suntup, a good bunch of kids. You know, in sports today, we see a lot of fighting and arguments and displays of bad sportsmanship, and that's one thing you can say about either team playing here today.
Oh, especially after that gesture by the Passaic Valley player. That was just really nice on her part to see if DiBiaco is okay, because that's got to hurt. Because these balls they're hard. If you get hit by them, it's going to hurt.
Absolutely, and that actually did look painful to me from the sidelines for a girl or boy enduring that hit. That was something.
As Passaic Valley will take over possession.
I'll tell you, Dave, field hockey is not for the weak of heart. You're going on a drive, you think you've got momentum, then it instantly gets stopped. That's what happens for now 26 minutes. Each team going on a drive downfield, developing momentum, and then just coming to an abrupt stop by the other team's defense. It's kind of hard to bear sometimes. It's just such a back and forth. It's such an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, because you think you have something going, you have momentum in the other team's zone, and it's almost you could just clear the ball out, and then you're done. You know, so you have to be mentally tough to play this game. You just saw that from Elisa DiBiaco. She could have come out of that game because, that ball really hit her shoulder hard, and she was hurting, but she wants to win this game really badly. She knows after last year how devastating that loss was to Passaic Valley, and she's staying in this game, and she's just playing her heart out for Coach Badami. As DiBiaco falls down again as she strokes the ball, but she gets right up. As it's going to be a free hit for Wayne Hills, as you can hear the cowbells ringing here at Passaic Valley High School.
Wayne Hills now, once again in Passaic Valley territory, really hoping to score.
Decker takes the free hit. As a kick save there by the Passaic Valley goalie, Jessica Luciano. I believe that's the first save that she's had to make today, because the other ball that was stopped on Wayne Hill's first score opportunity was by Passaic Valley player with the ball out.
And here we are again, the theme of the game, good opportunities lost. You don't want to say good opportunity, because obviously these goalies on the number 1 and 3 teams are goalies for a reason. They're good and they're talented. And you're not going to convert on every opportunity, but you'd really hope to convert on 1 or 2.
as now possession will change to the Passaic Valley Hornets, as Wayne Hills had a good score opportunity there, but they couldn't convert. It's not really about how many opportunities you get, it's how many times you convert.
Exactly. Passaic Valley has had 2 or 3 times as many opportunities Wayne Hills has, and yet the score reads 0-0 for both teams with only 2 minutes left now in the first period.
I know that in boys and girls soccer, they stop the clock. They clock at 2 minutes. I'm not sure if they do that.
It appears they have.
Maybe is there stoppage time in field hockey? I don't know if there is. I know there is in soccer.
I don't think there's stoppage time in field hockey. I don't know if is it a 2-minute warning type of situation. They have stopped the clock at 2 minutes, and unless it's a malfunction, which I don't think it is.
Yeah, I think they want to go by the ref's clocks. Now it's up to the ref to time the end of the first half.
Right. So now that we're in the dark about the time period, it sort of feels like old days, Dave.
We're going old school here, no clock. That's how we have for the last couple of field hockey games we've done over the last couple of years, no clock. So we're going old school. As the ball is hit out of play right by the Passaic Valley broadcasting crew.
That was quite close to us. Made me feel part of the action of the game.
I was actually going to try to make a kick save and stop the ball, but I couldn't reach out there that far.
I was thinking that
My
exact
reaction
same
time
thing.
is a little off today. And you really wouldn't think this would be that much of a factor, and I really don't know if it is for a game of this magnitude, but a lot of the sophomores and juniors on both these teams spent Saturday morning taking the PSATs. Do you think that possibly wears on you mentally when you take a long test like that in a game like this, or it's not going to bother these players?
Personally, I don't think so. I think that they were up early. If anything, the PSATs maybe sharpened their brain a little bit, or maybe frustrated them. And I would think, if anything, this is a good release from a morning of schoolwork. But that's just my personal opinion. What do you think?
Well, it does get you woken up, and it does get you prepared mentally, but it could be tiring. It depends on how much rest you have. I believe that is the end of the first half here at Passaic Valley High School in this Passaic County Championship. The Wayne Hills Patriots 0 and the Passaic Valley Hornets tied at 0. So Spencer, what are your thoughts on the first half?
My thoughts on the first half is that, one, both teams definitely deserve to be here, even though there's been little to no offensive productivity on the scoreboard. Both teams are really playing their hearts out, especially on defense, moving the ball up and down the field, playing entire periods tirelessly, and you can tell in their eyes that they really want to win, even if no goals have been put on the scoreboard up to this point.
It's definitely been a big defensive matchup here. Both teams going back and forth. It's been a very back and forth game so far. Both teams have had their opportunities to score, but they couldn't convert. And this is what I expected. I expected a good defensive matchup where one goal could possibly win this game. Stick around because we have a voiceover and a recap of last year's Passaic County final. We'll be back right after this at the second half of action.
2005 Passaic County Field Hockey Final, Wayne Hills Patriots versus the Passaic Valley Hornets. Here we go, folks. Wayne Hills Patriots, Jem Badami trying to get her troops ready before the game, telling her team what's at stake here, a county title. They won it back in 2004. Opening face-off here for the Patriots, looking to get things going on a good note. And here we go, game started. The first of many shaves here for Christina Ozier, coming up big in the clutch. Another defensive stand here by the Patriots, preventing the Passaic Valley Hornets from going ahead. Another shot here by the Patriots, and it gets them on the board for a 1-0 lead. Next play here, we have a penalty stroke for the Hornets, and it's going to be gobbled up there by Christina Ozier, the brick wall in her senior season. As we hear the pursuit by the Passaic Valley Hornets, and the Patriots buckle down, and they stop them from scoring once again. Penalty stroke here for the Hornets, trying to tie up the game. Ozier in goal for the Patriots. The shot, and it is good, and we are tied at 1. Ozier with a great sliding save there to protect the score for the Patriots. Penalty stroke here, saved by the Passaic Valley Hornets. Miniman Rackets just blows right into the goalie of Passaic Valley. Penalty stroke here for the Patriots. It is wide right here in the shootout. It is still knotted up at 0-0. Another shot here for the Patriots to get the lead. And it is off the post. Just barely missed by inches. Patriots not getting on. And they finally, the Passaic Valley Hornets score first to get in the lead in the shootout. wide right for the Patriots. Passaic Valley trying to put the game away here. And it is just wide left. Patriots one last chance to come back, and no. And the Passaic Valley Hornets are your 2005 Passaic County champions.
Welcome back to the second half of action here at Passaic Valley High School. I'm David Suntup alongside Spencer Fertig. And here's the second half of action here in this Passaic County final. Score tied at 0. So Spencer, what do you think Wayne Hills has to do here in the second half to come out on top?
Score. I know that sounds simple and not like there's too much to it, but the fact is you win games based on if you have more points on the scoreboard. Currently, neither team has any points on the scoreboard. For Wayne Hills to come out on top, their offense is really going to need to convert with the limited chances they have in PV's area, or else they're going to go home disappointed, and nobody wants that. What do you think? Well, you know what? I also think, don't answer that yet, because I also happen to think that Wayne Hills needs to keep it up on defense as well, because the fact is they don't want PV to score. And I know this sounds simplistic, but the fact is, once again, you win with more points on the board. They've got to keep their defensive intensity up and start to convert on more of their opportunities if they want to come out of this game with smiles on their faces.
Oh, I agree with you. They have to keep up the defensive intensity. There's hope that they get one score opportunity. It only takes one chance to capitalize and get one in the net, because like we said throughout this game, one goal could win this thing.
Correct, and if this half bears any semblance to the first half, which I'm getting the feeling that it will just by the first minute of this half, it's really going to be a 1-0 game. It's going to be a duke it out, grit your teeth, fight it out to the end kind of game. Whichever team has that 1 or 2 goals is going to come out on top. Hills can only hope that it's them at this point.
As Ashley Conti takes the ball up the left side of the field. Good maneuvering by Conti. It's going to be a free hit for Passaic Valley.
The girls?
Oh, sorry, Spencer.
No, it just seems to me, just by judging on these past 2 minutes, that the girls from both teams have really come into this half with the renewed intensity. I'm sure that 10-minute rest did help them with that, but they really seem to come out here with more of a fighting spirit, and I think that it's key to try to get a goal in these first 10 or 15 minutes before fatigue really starts to set in and you mentally and physically begin to atrophy.
Or before you really start to panic on the field and you know you have to score. It's better to get one early and then be able to sit back and defend than panic and know that you have to score, because then that's where things could really go wrong and the play could start to get sloppy.
I absolutely agree, and that's why, even though there's still 27 minutes left in this period, these next 5 minutes may be the most critical for both teams out of this entire game.
Decker take the free hit. She misses at the first shot, but then a nice free hit, stopped by Passaic Valley player right in front of the goal. And now I believe they call this a corner hit. I'm not totally sure, but Lauren Mooney take the corner hit. Mooney hits it to Anderson. Anderson fires a shot right for the goal. A great save by the Passaic Valley goaltender. What a save by Jessica Luciano, as Wayne Hills will have another opportunity to score. That was the biggest save of the game right there.
Absolutely, and that's a tough pill to swallow for Wayne Hills. Thankfully, they have another chance to score right now, but that was hard. They were so close, Dave, and to be so close and yet so far at the same time is hard to deal with.
I want the ball on Kristen Anderson's stick right now. That was an electric shot off her stick, and that was close to going in, but there was a deflection there because the goalie was not able to clear the ball out totally. Decker shoots it towards the middle. Shot by Wayne Hills, and it's hit out again. A good opportunity there for Lauren Mooney, I believe.
And the excitement is really starting to build now as they come so close to getting scoring opportunities. And here's actually an irony I'm noticing about this game, Dave. Passaic Valley has home field advantage, and you would presume that would mean the crowd support as well. But as you mentioned before, the fact that the football team is playing right here at Passaic Valley, right next to us, has drawn a lot of Passaic Valley's fans away from this game and towards football. And thus, Wayne Hills seems to actually, at times, seem to have more support than Passaic Valley does on their own home field.
Oh, definitely. Wayne Hills, it seems like they bust a faithful here for this game, because the Wayne Hills crowd is very loud. They're very enthusiastic about this game. But I think the fact that there's a football game to the right of us is the reason why the Passaic Valley team does not have as large of a crowd supporting them. And I even talked to the Passaic Valley broadcasters during the half, and I asked him, you guys are doing the football game, how come you're not asking? He's like, well, I had the choice of doing the second half of the football game or doing the whole game of the field hockey county final, and he chose field hockey. And I think he made a smart choice.
I do too. Wayne Hills has definitely played a better game these first 5 minutes than Passaic Valley, at least with more intensity and more scoring opportunities. Unfortunately, once again, as has happened many times this game, that has not translated to any points on the board, but Kristen Anderson hopes to change that right now.
Kristen Anderson take the free for Wayne Hills. Strokes it, hits off the stick of Tammy Seibel as possession changes in favor of the Passaic Valley Hornets. As the free by Passaic Valley is out of the reach of number 10, Ashley Conti, and it goes out of bounds. Kristen Anderson now takes the free for Wayne Hills. Nice stroke by Anderson as it hits off the arm of Tammy Seibel as the ball bounces too high, and now Passaic Valley takes over. As the ball crosses the end line, and Passaic Valley, I believe, will have a corner hit.
Wayne Hills has played close games before. They beat Old Japan 2-0 in early September, and on the last day of September, they beat Riverdale 1-0. So they do know how to win in these tough battles, and let's just see if they can pull through like they have in the past here.
As a nice save there by Michelle Ozier as the ball goes over the end line. I believe Passaic Valley will maintain possession. Yeah, going back to your point, Wayne Hills has definitely played in some close games this year, and even their last game in the Passaic County tournament against West Milford, down 2-1. They showed a lot of fight, they showed a lot of heart, and they came back and won 4-3. So they know what it's like to play in these close games, and they know what it's like to play in the Passaic County tournament because they've got to the finals the last 3 years.
They better hope that they don't fall behind too much in this game, because I really don't see them being able to score 3 goals within, 10 or 15 minutes against this Passaic Valley defense.
Oh, I don't think any of these teams is going to score 3 goals in this game. Maybe if they had a shootout, they'd be able to get 3 goals.
Agreed.
If you're just joining us, I'm David Suntup alongside Spencer Fertig here at Passaic Valley High School. 22 minutes and 36 seconds here left in the second half. Wayne Hills and Passaic Valley are tied at 0.
What do you think Coach Badami said to her girls in that huddle that got them out playing with a bit of a higher intensity than they were at the end of the first half?
Well, I think I don't know what she'd bring up, but she could have brought up last year's loss and how devastated they felt, and she could have said, you don't want to feel that way again 2 years in a row, because that would just be awful. That's what I think she was probably saying. And she was probably saying, you've had such a great season so far. No one expected you to be here. Leave it all out on the field. That's what I would say if I was a coach. And that's what I think Coach Badami was saying to her team. Any questions, comments, or suggestions, please email the Wayne Hills TV Club at WayneHillsTV@AOL.com. Once again, that is WayneHillsTV@AOL.com. Natalia passes it to her left. Shot on goal. A high shot by number 22 of the Passaic Valley Hornets. And according to my roster, actually, number 22 is not on my roster. But that was the highest shot that we've seen the whole day, but wide by about 10 feet. Another save by Michelle Ozier, who has just come up big for the Wayne Hills Patriots today. Full shot in front of the net as it hits off the arm of a Wayne Hills player, as the players are congratulating Michelle Ozier on a couple of good saves, and now they're making a wall in front of the net.
We're now 2/3 through the game, and I don't even know if I can take another third. This is really an emotional roller coaster. I mean, 1 minute you think you're going to score, then you think you're being scored against. And each time, each drive has, been stopped at the hands of 2 very effective goalies.
I mean, it's been such a back-and-forth game so far. Both teams have had their chances, and I wouldn't say that one team's dominated this game at all.
I would not either. I think that would be a very incorrect assertion for someone to say that either team has dominated this game. Each team has dominated relatively in parts in terms of shots on goal. Right now, PV is having a nice string of attempted offensive productivity. But yeah, 0-0 tells a story of two teams that are both in it fighting hard.
Going back to that last play on defense, great stop there by Amy Takahashi, helping out goaltender Michelle Ogier. I don't know how the outcome of this game will play out, but all I can say is the man of the day, Patrick Calabrese. It was about 11:30 Eastern time, and we were about to cancel this production because we didn't have enough people.
That would have been awful.
I would have been terrible. I even told Mr. Hookstraight, I said, if we don't do this game, we're going to look terrible. So Patrick Calabrese calls my cell phone and tells me that he could do this game, and that just made my day because I really wanted to be here. I know you really wanted to be here. It would have been terrible if we couldn't do a county championship because we didn't have a crew to do the game.
And it's wonderful that Patrick saved the day so that we can bring this game to all of you, because really this is what you couldn't even ask for more than a championship. It's a beautiful autumn day. It's a rematch of last year's finals, and it's a defensive battle. 0-0 going into the last 18 minutes of a half. I mean, the suspense is high, the enthusiasm is high. I couldn't really think of a better way to go out in a field hockey season. This is just awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is the most important game of the Wayne Hills season by far, and this is what they're playing for.
And you know, so much of what we're subjected to, I know I'm going on a larger scale here in the national media in terms of steroids and athletes with bad attitudes. You know, a lot of pro sports have really turned people off nowadays, and to see high school sports that are just so pure and so full of energy and fight, it's really great to kind of see that this still, you know, is alive and well in our culture.
Definitely, because most of the pro sports, well, I'm a huge pro sports fanatic, some of the players are just really selfish. They play for the money, they want all the perks and stuff, but these high school athletes, they play for the love of the game, and that's what it's about.
Absolutely, and it's great to watch. You're really seeing that like high school athletic spirit thrive here today.
All I can say is that if Wayne Hills wins this game, and it's going to be on TV whether they win or lose, that's already been decided, because that's how all the games are. I think they deserve to treat Patrick Calabrese to a dinner for saving the day.
A pasta dinner. Oh, a steak dinner is even better, sure.
Well, that's for Patrick to determine. But back to the action here. As the Soldier makes another kick save as she gets up. And now change possession and Wayne Hills will take over.
Through the first 5 minutes of the half, Wayne Hills was able to keep the ball down by Passaic Valley's goal, and although they didn't score, they were at least able to keep the ball away from Passaic Valley having opportunities on their goal. But during the last 7 or 8 minutes of this half, that vibe, that atmosphere has really changed, and Passaic Valley is dominating on the offensive side of the ball. And Hills is really going to need to end this with 17 minutes left, or else they're not going to have a chance to bring this game.
And also, what it does is it wears down the Wayne Hills defense for later in the game. The way this second half is going, this game could go into overtime possibly, so this game is far from over right now. Far from over with in terms of the outcome, and then it could be far from over with in terms of the time. The tie passes to the left. Shot fired. A great kick save to her right by Michelle Ogier.
And now with the free kick, Wayne Hills really needs to get the ball down to the other side of the field to give their defense a rest and their offense a chance to show what they're made of.
As Ashley Rada just got stoned by Michelle Ogier on that one. Giametta up the left side of the field. That was just a great save by Michelle Ogier. Like I talked about in the pregame, she needed to have a huge game today, and she's done that so far.
She's definitely brought her share to the table. She's like that dinner guest that you love to invite because you know anytime you ask her to bring over dessert, she'll always bring a sponge cake and 10 brownies. Not everyone else might bring the carrots, you know, and the appetizers and all the great delicious entrees, but she always brings the dessert, and that's why you always keep inviting her back for more.
Spencer, you're making me hungry with the brownie talk.
Pardon.
I love brownies. As we have free hit here for Passaic Valley. The wind started to pick up here on a nice sunny autumn day here in Little Falls, New Jersey. As Passaic Valley gets the first goal of the game, number 20, Aaron Glore, as Passaic Valley takes a 1-0 lead. And as I said before, one opportunity could win the game, and one goal could win this game.
And that one goal has a more ominous tone today than it might have in other games, because Wayne Hills, for the past 45 minutes, has demonstrated an inability to score against this Passaic Valley defense. And to ask them to do that now with 15 minutes left in the game, with their offense and defense both fatigued, is a really hard task for any team.
No one was on Aaron Glore, as Michelle Ozer made the first save in that sequence. But then no one was blocking her, and she had an unobstructed path to the ball as she put it home for the first goal of the game. But going back to last year's game, Wayne Hills scored first, and they wound up losing on penalty strokes. Passaic Valley up the right sideline. As Passaic Valley will take over, as there's a fight for possession there by number 33 of the Hornets, Jamie DeGroat and Arian Bakelman. But how does Wayne Hills respond after Passaic Valley scores the first goal of the game?
I think it really comes down to a question of will and how much do they want it. These seniors are never, ever going to be on the field hockey field again, at least at a high school level. This is their last chance to make an imprint on both their lives and on Wayne Hills' sports, record and on sports history. And the question, like I said, is how much do they want it? And I think within the next 14 minutes, we're definitely going to get an answer to that question.
Well, this is the last county game that the seniors will play, but in terms of the season, after this, I think they still have a couple more league games, and the state tournament starts the first week of November.
That is what I meant. Yeah, I apologize.
2 years ago, the Wayne Hills Patriots lost to Mount Olive in the Northland Group 3 state finals, 3-0. So they have gone far in states before. And Passaic Valley is Northland Group 3, so regardless of what happens here, that's a shot by number 27, Kim Giametta. The ball is just out of her reach, as Passaic Valley will take over possession. But going back to what I was saying, what was I saying? Well, Passaic Valley is in Northland Group 3, so regardless of what happens in this game, these games could possibly meet in the state tournament.
That is true. Right now, I can only imagine as they head into this huddle what's going through a lot of the players who have been down this road before last year. They lost last year in a devastating loss, and they surely don't want that to happen again. But with 13 minutes left in the second half and down by a goal, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle. And here's where it comes down, where this game transcends your physical ability and comes down to your mental reserves and your will in terms of how much do you want it and what are you willing to do to ensure victory or to try your best. They need to leave it all on the field, and they still have more to give, I believe.
13 minutes and 34 seconds here left in the second half at Passaic Valley. The Passaic Valley Hornets are defeating the Wayne Hills Patriots 1-0 in this Passaic County final. So there's definitely time. But the more that clock ticks down and the longer Wayne Hills goes without scoring, they're going to start to panic. And they're going to know that someone has to make a play. And the pressure's only going to get greater as each second ticks off the clock.
Some of the audience appear confused because the official scoreboard on this field actually has Wayne Hills up against Passaic Valley 1-0, but rest assured it is Passaic Valley that is winning this game at the moment 1-0. The smiles on their faces tell the story right now.
Actually, what I think they are doing is Wayne Hills is the number 1 seed. Passaic Valley is the number 3 seed. So Wayne Hills is really the home team, but I think the way they do and decide where the final is, it's based on last year's champion.
So in an ironic twist, Wayne Hills is the home team at Passaic Valley.
Yeah, that is really ironic. That's why Wayne Hills is wearing their white uniforms. Because I would assume that Wayne Hills.
Without you.
I assume Wayne Hills has road uniforms. I think they do. As Lauren Bracco fires a shot and it is saved by Luciano. That was a good opportunity there for Lauren Bracco, but she shot it right at Luciano as Luciano makes a kick save.
That shot could have had a little more oomph, I feel. I know when you're caught up in the game, you can't really always give it your oomph. But that, she had an open net in terms of that. The goalie was standing to the right of the net, and she hit it right at her, and that's the shot you'd like to have back.
Well, I thought the shot had decent velocity on it, but I thought the placement I would have tried to place it more to the right. I'm sure Bracco was trying to do that, but it's easier said than done.
Absolutely.
Wayne Hills have another opportunity here. Giametta passes to Decker. Decker tries to pass it into the middle, blocked by Passaic Valley player. Decker centers it, intended for Tammy Seibel. As Passaic Valley will take over possession.
And the key that I'm noticing with these free kicks from behind the goal is that when the offensive team is doing that, as I'm sure you're noticing at home on camera, the members of the defense, the 5 members, all have to stand behind the midfield line and rush after the ball is hit into play. So your best opportunity to score on these kicks are within the first 5 or 10 seconds after the ball is put in play. And Wayne Hills hasn't been doing this on the numerous free kicks they've had or free hits they've had so far.
Decker with the free hit, as the free hit is deflected and goes just right of the Passaic Valley net. Well, Spencer, that's a great point because any other time, the defense is back there and it's so much harder to score. But right now, when you're in that situation, the defense can get there for about 5 to 10 seconds. So that's what, as I just picked up the ball and I just threw it to a Passaic Valley player. That's what you call a kick save. It just shows my versatility. That's all I could say. Ooh,
I felt a little
that
contact.
ball just hit off the close to the handle of Lauren Bracco. That could have been very harmful if that hit off her finger.
Back to the traumatic event that happened about 30 seconds ago. I actually felt that ball bounce up from your foot and onto my pinky, and that little bounce hurt. So I can truly relate to what DiBianco was feeling on the field about 20 minutes ago when that ball hit her shoulder. That is a heavy ball.
Especially I hit you in the pinky.
Oh, it's not a painful hit. It's just
I'm sorry.
nothing but a flesh wound.
Except I have quick reflexes, and I saw that ball, and I just stopped. I stopped it with my foot, and then I wanted to pick it up to try to save some time, so Wayne also have some more time to score. As Passaic Valley takes a free hit, hits off the foot of Shea Decker. Good defense there by DeMoro. So now there's 10 minutes and 34 seconds here left in the second half. Wayne Hills is down 1-0.
We're almost at the decade mark.
We're almost 2/3 of the way done with the second half. And 5/6 of the way done with the game, which is 83% for you math gurus out there. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please email the Wayne Hills TV Club at WayneHillsTV@AOL.com. Once again, that is WayneHillsTV@AOL.com.
Now that we're under 10 minutes, I think the Wayne Hills girls are really starting to feel the importance of this moment. I mean, this is what we kind of said that we didn't want to happen about 20 minutes ago in the first half, that we wouldn't have to get to this point. But now they're at this point where they need to score a goal just to force it into a shootout.
Well, just to get overtime, just to have a life, because the more the clock ticks down, the more nervous these Wayne Hills players are going to get, because they really want to score. Everyone wants to make a play. But if they don't capitalize and they lose this game, they don't want to have that feeling that they had last year, back on October 29th, when they lost that shootout to Passaic Valley. Because you come so far, you work so hard, you train all summer to win a county title, and then you come up short. It's just a very devastating feeling. Rocco on the right side of the field tries to center as it goes over the end line.
And, you know, sometimes this anxiety, these last 8 or 9 minutes of a game, you know, really bring out the character of a team, because it's like that fight or flight syndrome, and it shows whether or not a team can really thrive under the pressure, or if they shun away from the, you know, the pressure that they're under at the moment. And Wayne Hills in the past has shown that they can handle this pressure, and I really think we're going to see right now if they can on the big stage.
I totally agree. We're going to see the type of team that Wayne Hills is in these last 8 minutes and 35 seconds, and we'll see the heart and desire that they really have. Anderson's free hit hits off of a Passaic Valley stick and goes out of play. It's going to be a corner hit for the Patriots. And Anderson takes the corner hit. Passaic Valley clears it out of the Wayne Hills zone as it gets past Amy Takahashi. It's taken up by number 20, Aaron Glore.
Time is of the essence right now. Wayne Hills has to get it out of Passaic Valley offensive territory. Has to get out of their own side of the field.
As Wayne Hills will take over possession, and they'll have a free hit.
Coach Badami's arm waving is starting to indicate the urgency that she feels in this situation as well.
Well, Coach Badami, she's always very enthusiastic on the sidelines. It must be really fun to play for a coach like that who's really enthusiastic and really cares about her team.
She's the female version of Ray Riker and Bob Holden.
Oh, Ray Riker and Bob Holden, two legends in the confines of Wayne Hills High School. Words can't describe the kind of people that they are.
No, I wouldn't even want to try to use words. They're both two great guys, and I don't know if they've had any time on the air this year, so here's a mention to both of them, who are both very involved in the school and in the athletics that go on in the school, and really mean more to us than we can say accurately in these minutes that we're given right now.
Oh, we've talked a lot about Ray and Bob. They're just great people. They're just legends in the hallways of Wayne Hills High School, like I just mentioned. The only thing is they're Yankees fans, you know?
Yeah, that's a bad thing. And on the topic of baseball, the fact that the Mets lost, I really don't think that I can actually deal with the Wayne Hills loss right now. I'm hoping we win, if not for only the team's sake and Coach Badami's sake, but for my sake as well. I can't deal with any more loss right now.
Oh, and then last week, girls soccer losing in penalty kicks to Wayne Valley. That was also very heartbreaking.
Sometimes you question where the light is in this world.
But yeah, hopefully things will come around soon, and hopefully things will come around in the last 6 minutes and 33 seconds of this game, and Wayne Hills will come through and score. Mooney up the right side of the field, trying to get something started for Wayne Hills. As it's a hit intended for Kristen Anderson, it's taken away by a Passaic Valley player.
I know respected broadcasters are supposed to show a level of objectivity in these kinds of games, but the fact is we're broadcasting for Wayne Hills. I, for one, want Wayne Hills to win. I'm sure you do, too. And I'll put it out there right now. I'm really hoping these girls come through with 6 minutes left.
Well, Spencer, I definitely agree with you, but we're Wayne Hills broadcasters, and obviously, you know, we're going to want Wayne Hills to win. So obviously, we're going to be a little bit biased towards Wayne Hills. As a timeout is called, I believe by Wayne Hills, as Coach Badami is talking over with the ref. 5 minutes and 56 seconds here left in this game. Passaic Valley defeating Wayne Hills 1-0. As Passaic Valley gets on the board with about 12 minutes here left in the second half. And we'll be right back after a short break. We can just talk because we're going to cut this out anyway.
Yeah, I know. Come on. It's very hard to come back and score a goal in these
Patrick, you didn't have to stop taping. If you did, it's okay, but you didn't have to. You didn't have to stop tape.
I didn't stop taping.
Okay.
It's very hard to score in these last 5 or 6 minutes sometimes.
What?
It's very hard to score in these last 5 or 6 minutes, and they never happen.
Who's going to get a quick drink before we start? And we're back here after a short break. The Passaic Valley Horse are defeating the Wayne Hills Patriots 1-0. 5 minutes and 52 seconds here left in the second half. If you're just joining us, I'm David Suntup alongside Spencer Fertig on a sunny and breezy day here at Passaic Valley High School.
And if you are just joining us, you've missed quite the defensive battle up till this point. Teams have both fought very hard. Both had opportunities to score. Passaic Valley was able to capitalize on one of them. Wayne Hills was not.
As Decker with a free hit as the ball is in front of the Passaic Valley goal, but there's a infraction called on Wayne Hills. Glore, actually, excuse me, that was number 10, Ashley Conti up the left side of the field for the Hornets. As the ball goes past Lauren Bracco, controlled by Mooney as the whistle blows.
You know, another thing that I'm noticing, Dave, that might be making this game harder for Wayne Hills than the average game is the fact that the field here is not really kept in great shape. And you notice that the ball is taking a lot of odd hops as it goes into divots and holes of dirt that are located in the ground. It's really hard to sometimes maintain a drive because of the odd hops that these balls are taking.
As Michelle Ogier just made 2 fantastic saves in that sequence, and if Passaic Valley scored there, that would have been icing on the cake, and that would have been a huge insurance goal.
That would have been the nail in the proverbial coffin of Wayne Hills.
Oh yeah, that you took the words right out of my mouth, Spencer. Free hit here for for Wayne Hills, excuse me. I couldn't see the ball for a second. 4 minutes and 26 seconds here left in the second half, so time is running out for Wayne Hills. Anderson strokes the ball to the middle of the field. As a free hit taken by Anderson.
4
Anderson
minutes
to
left.
Seibel. Seibel hits it up to Bracco. Bracco tries to center it as it hits off, I believe, someone's foot.
Less than 4 minutes left. This is when Wayne Hills has to score. It's now.
The clock stops at 2 minutes, and then they go by the ref's clock. So a huge free hit here for the Wayne Hills Patriots, as Kim Giametto will take the free hit. Passaic Valley needs a big defensive stand here.
And this is definitely the largest moment in the game right now. The turning point, if you will, or could be.
Giametto passes it to Bakelman. Bakelman fires a shot. Wayne Hills, and it hits off the post as the ref blows the whistle. I believe Lauren Mooney hit that shot off the post. That was a great shot there by Arian Bakelman. I thought it went in at first, but Wayne Hills was unable to stuff it through. And that's just a really tough sequence there by the Wayne Hills Patriots.
I thought it went in too. My heart leapt. And if Wayne Hills does lose this game with under 3 minutes left, that's one that they're going to wish they had back.
2 minutes and 53 seconds left in the second half, so time is definitely running out. And every second that ticks off the clock, the importance to score keeps on getting greater and greater. They have another chance here. 2 minutes and 38 seconds left. Giametto take the free hit. Giametto passes to Bakelman. Bakelman fires it towards the center. Good defense there by Passaic Valley to stop the shot.
And here again, their third opportunity now with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game. 6 players on Passaic Valley are behind the midfield line. They need to score in these 5 seconds.
As Bakelman loses control of the ball momentarily, gets it back. DiBianco tries to fire towards the middle. As Lauren Mooney falls down, she tries to stroke the ball, and now Passaic Valley take over possession. And now there are 2 minutes left here in the second half. And now Passaic Valley just needs to control the ball. And one clear, and this game could be over with. Anderson tries to hit it up. Anderson along the right side of the field. Strokes it towards the middle as it's blocked by a Passaic Valley player.
It's now Wayne Hills. It's a free hit by Kristen Anderson, I think, right, Dave?
Yeah, Kristen Anderson take the corner hit.
And here's basically Wayne Hills' last chance to have a say in this game.
As the ball hits off the side of the net, and Passaic Valley will take over.
And now it looks like, unless something drastic happens, Wayne Hills is in a bit of a bind.
Number 4, Kelly Mattia, who scored the game-winning goal in their semifinal win over Pompton Lakes, takes the free hit as it's cleared as Michelle Ozier tries to kick it away and misses the ball. And it's hit up the field. As Passaic Valley have a free hit, and this one's basically over with because Wayne Hills, it would just be totally impossible for them to come back with the limited time left.
There can't be more than 30 seconds left in the game at this moment.
This could be their last chance. I think it is.
If they can even get it down the field. But I think they can. It might be a little bit like stoppage time where when the ref sees that a play is in progress, she lets the